How we doing?
Hey, you just take us through the touchdown to Jaxon there at the end, kind of how that play developed?
Yeah, they blitzed the slot. Jaxon had an adjustment on his route, which he did a great job at, seeing that. Was able to get the ball out to him in space. He's a very dynamic player in space. I thought DK, what about his block, right? Like, he gets an assist on that play for just a great block, and then Jaxon finishing it off in the end zone. Big for him, big for the team. It's just great to pull that win out.
We've asked this many times, many other quarterbacks over the years. What about the 2-minute drill gets you going? You went 3 for 3 to start that last drive.
I think it's first of all, talk about the way that we prepare. Coach puts us in that situation every single day in the VMAC, so it's not something that we're not used to. And I think Coach Carroll does a great job at making sure that we're always ready for 2 minutes. So when we go out there, it's just another day for us. It's just like another standard practice. And it's key. It's going to be a passing situation. The D line's going to be getting off the ball. You got to get the ball out fast, and you want to start with that first completion. But it takes everybody all 11, and I feel like in the 2 minute, we're just passing the ball and we're just doing what we're good at, and so we just wanted to go out there and make things happen.
How do you feel you played today?
I feel like if I look at my game, if I'm being totally honest with you, take away 2 plays, 3 plays, and we're talking about a really good game. But obviously you can't eliminate those. Those things happen, and again, that's something that I've been trying to be better at. Not having those mistakes, because those can hurt us. And I feel like our team is such a scrappy team. We find ways to win no matter what. But I feel like if I can play up to my capabilities, play up to my standard, who knows? Like I said, what we can be, because we're one of the best teams in football if we play right.
What's the key in a day that maybe everything's not going great for you to ignore it and have that right game again?
Yeah, it's a collective effort. A lot of guys stepped up today. Tyler gave us a little bit of a pep talk on the sideline. On that last drive, Jason Peters, he stepped in there. He said something, it was like, this is what we practice and prepare for all week, to get these wins and to be in these moments. And so it's a collective effort, but it takes a ton of resiliency, a bunch of guys going out there and just fighting to the end and just believing. And so that's all it took today, is just us believing and fighting to the end.
What did you see in that stretch? I think you guys had 6 possessions where you had 4 3-and-outs and a couple picks. Were they changing up what they were doing on the other side, or did you see?
No, I think overall, man, I think they just made some great plays. The one interception to DK, the last play of 2 minute, guy undercuts it, makes a great play. D lineman drops out. We're throwing a hot route. He tips the ball up to himself. This is NFL, one of the best defenses in football. We knew we were going up against a really good defense, and they made some plays. They really did. Hats off to the Browns. They're a really good team. But, we are too. And so when you have those type of battles, man, it's going to be back and forth. You can expect that. But, the ultimate thing is to get the win. And so I think we did a great job at fighting to the end.
Jason Peters, it's pretty wild to be in the huddle with the guy in his 20th NFL season out there playing tackle.
Man, he looks just like it's the first one, man. That guy is an ageless wonder. I can't believe it. His 20th season, he actually probably played against Seattle with the throwback jersey. So, just a special guy, man. And I think he's had a hell of a career, but he's still out there battling like it's his first game.
Did you think you had a free play on the interception towards DK?
No, not at all. I was just throwing it in rhythm. Guy did a good job undercutting it, and he made a play. I can get the ball out faster or maybe lead him more to the sideline. But I didn't see a flag thrown, so I didn't think free play.
Can you tell us about the Bobo rushing touchdown? Have you guys been planning that play for a little while there?
Yeah, we've been practicing that. Bobo, again, just a dynamic player, can be used in a multitude of ways, so versatile. I thought it was a great call by Shane right there. They were actually calling for the sneak, expecting the quarterback sneak, and then we hit him with a quick jet sweep, and Bobo puts his foot in the ground, goes in there, gets is tough, and scores that touchdown. And I think, like I said, man, great call by Shane, great blocking up front, and then Bobo did his thing.
And he and JSN now have touchdowns 2 straight weeks. The rookie wide receivers, what have you seen out of them?
Yeah, it's what we talked about, right? The process, and them just staying in the moment, staying with the process. Early on in the season, things, weren't going as great for them. Obviously, like I said, we knew we were going to have more opportunities to get them the ball, and they were going to be able to step up, and I think they did.
Is the shirt, is that part of the 90s team?
Yeah, old school thing.
It's not interception, but were you and Jackson just not on the same page?
Yeah, that's something that we got to clean up. I just got to be clear with him in the huddle to make sure that we're on the same page, and I'll do a better job of that.
After the games, is the message from Pete or Shane or whoever been kind of what you've been telling us, take out a couple plays and just
Yeah, it is, and it's hard. It's the NFL. It's never going to be easy, and one or two mistakes can cost you the game. But the reality is that we figured it out today and we got it done.
Geno, what's the thing about your run game, and then the combination of Walker and also Zach Charbonnet, and why that challenges defenses?
Yeah, I think you got a perfect mixture with those two guys. Ken is the guy who's going to make you miss. He can make you miss in the phone booth. You saw that first run he had. He's got speed. He's got agility, and then he's powerful. He can drop the hat on you. And then you look at Zach and you think, well, power back, but he's also shifty. So you got two guys who. Either one of those guys can get out the backfield and catch. They're great in pass protection, and then with the ball in their hands in space, they're just as dynamic as can be. And so, just really, really good to have those guys, and great to be a part of this offense with them.
Does it feel good to kind of return the favor to the defense? With that final touchdown based on how they've been playing it.
Of course. Our defense is playing lights out football, and we got to continue to reward those guys because they're really one of the better defenses in football. We've got a chance every single week when we have that type of defense, and so we know that once we get out to a lead and we score points, they're going to be able to pass rush. Today we let them back in the game because we weren't consistent throughout. But if we can be consistent and continue to put up points, man, we'll be pretty good.
The going away from the running game there. Most of all into the fourth quarter. Is that more of what Cleveland was giving you? You're taking that rather than how did the run game disagree?
I think it's just a result of circumstance. Shane always does a great job at having a feel for what they're giving us. And, we needed to get some things going. And so usually when that happens, Shane's going to either put the ball in my hands or, obviously get the ball to Ken or Zach or one of our running backs. So it was just a circumstance, just a circumstantial thing. And overall, like I said, man, if it's pass or run, we got to execute. And so I felt we did a good job today.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.